Okay, let's get started. But first, let's switch over to this Steve Jobs background and put me on it. There we go. How can you go wrong with Steve Jobs and hashtag YesPhoenix? All right, the reason for this video is because there's three big announcements that I want to make that I hope you're going to be excited about as well. The first is that my wife and I plan to make a $10 million investment in Arizona startups. The idea here is that we want to fund 100 Arizona startups in everything from software to hardware to biotech and everything in between. And as you may know, funding in Arizona is very difficult to get on the earlier stages of companies rather than later stages. When companies are already very successful and trying to raise $5 million, for example, they can often attract money from outside the state. But when they're first trying to get off the ground, it's difficult for them to find the funding that they need. If it's 100,000 or 500,000, it's more difficult, ironically, than if it is 5 million. So that's the area where we think we can make a big impact and big difference in Arizona and really get startup funding moving. We're going to be documenting the process in which you can get funding on azdisruptors.com, so you can get more information on AZ Disruptors. You can also follow along the investments that we make on Twitter at AZ Disruptors. You can submit your pitches at azdisruptors.com as well. And if you want to invest with us, you can go to AZ Disruptors and submit a form that says invest with us. And we'll actually share our deal flow and what companies we plan to invest in with you so that we can amplify our voices and money together and make a bigger impact on the Arizona startup community. The second big announcement that I want to make is around Arizona technology news. There isn't a great source for Arizona tech news, unfortunately, which is why we're going to launch aztechbeat.com to cover Arizona's news on everything tech. You can actually submit your company's news, funding news, your product news at aztechbeat.com, and we hope to cover it because we want to cover all the cool stuff that's going on around technology in Arizona. So go to aztechbeat.com. You can also follow along the Twitter handle at aztechbeat so that you can know exactly what's happening in the Valley. And finally, the third thing that I'm super excited about is that I'm going to be launching a podcast to do interviews with entrepreneurs, investors, and scientists that are in Arizona and other cool people that are doing things to make Arizona, move Arizona in the right direction. One of the things that you might notice is that there's a common theme of Arizona around these announcements, and that's because I grew up in Arizona. I love Arizona. I think there's tremendous talent in Arizona. There's some very few problems that I think we can help try to address with startups and technology in particular. Some of those are around funding and technology news, a place to go to see what's happening. So those are the areas that I'm focused on addressing. But Arizona has incredible talent, and I think that we can surprise the world in terms of what can be accomplished right here. I hope you'll join me. We can also take the conversation to Twitter. If you want to follow me on twitter.com/HamidS, you can go there and talk to me, comment about it, and I'll see you next time.